This is one of those rare moments where the book is better than the film, but the film exposes the book's flaws. Hello, I'm author R.L. Raintree, and this is Reels and Reads. And today I'm going to review Dancing on the Edge of the Roof by Sheila Williams. This is her debut novel. I have not checked to see what other novels she has out, but I enjoyed every minute of this. So, the protagonist in this book, her name is Juanita Lewis. She's 41 years old. She is a nurse and happened to be a teen mom. As a result, she has three adult children who have no respect for her, who only take from her. I mean, these kids will get on your last damn nerve, which is why when one of her terminal patients passes away and leaves her with a stack of dime store romance novels, she gets this bright idea to take off on an adventure without her children. And girl, I can relate. This book is an easy read. It's only 220 pages. It's not very thick. Because Juanita is, I want to say, bordering on illiterate, she can read, but she needed a dictionary to get through some of the simplest words. So, as a result, because this book is told from her point of view, it's very easy to read. But it's also easy to read because I smiled through this entire book, except when it came to her kids. It's at the beginning, we see why she needs an adventure, why she needs to sort of escape from her life, or at least a change of scenery. You're going to hate these kids, but you're not going to stop turning the pages. Like, it's like watching Maury or something like that. Like, you know, this is not good, but you just can't stop watching. Once you get past that, and Juanita goes on her adventure, which is basically pick a spot on the map and just see something she's never seen before, you're never going to stop smiling. Every time you put this book down, you're going to want to pick it up because it's so nice to live vicariously through someone who gets to run away from it all, who gets to see something she's never seen before and do something she's never done before. You want her to be free. You want her to discover herself. And as she's keeping these beautiful journal entries along the way of how she sees the world, whether it's fields of wheat or mountains, just her perspective of things as a person who's never been anywhere outside of Ohio, it truly makes you smile. It's not necessarily a happy book all the way through, but again, just her adventure, her trying to discover herself is something that just makes you so good, feel so good inside. It's the opposite of Schadenfreude. You want to see her do well. Another thing I liked about this novel is that I happened to read it right after I read Scylla. You can also go back to my channel and see that review. There's a character in Scylla named Nell, and Nell believes, that she has a place in society, which is, succumbing to the patriarchy. Get married because that's what you're supposed to do. Have children because that's what you're supposed to do. Like, this is supposed to be your life. But the entire time, Nell was living vicariously through Scylla. She didn't miss her husband, she missed Scylla. And I can't help but wonder if Nell had decided to go on an adventure instead of just stay right there in Medallion. I feel like if it were modern day, Nell would have been Juanita going on this midlife adventure. Now, something I didn't like, and this has to be my biggest issue with the book, is her adventure came to a screeching halt when she gets to Paper Moon. She's supposed to be getting away from responsibility. She's supposed to be getting away from having to help everyone, taking care of everyone but herself. And what she winds up doing is saving a diner and helping people there. So it's like she traded her children for three complete strangers. So she goes from three children to three complete strangers: Jess, Mignon, and her mother, Mary. So it's like, why are we here? Like, we're supposed to be discovering the nation together, maybe make it out to California. We're supposed to see things we've never seen, do things we've never done. And I fully understood that her working at the diner was supposed to get her a little scratch to just to kind of, see the sights for a little while because she quit her job to do this. So I understood working at the diner for a little while to get a little bit of funds together so she could explore, Glacier Park and things like that, and then have some more money stacked up so she can hightail it to another state. But she settles in there and she goes from just helping this diner out to working like 6 to 7 days a week. And I'm like, what are we doing? Like, the novel slows down to a crawl because I'm like, so basically you just relocated. Like, this is not what I wanted for you. This is not what you wanted for you. You're supposed to be exploring and you've essentially settled in another location. Why? Because people were counting on you just like they were back in Ohio. Another thing I didn't like was the language. Juanita's only 41, but this character talks like she's in her 60s. And I got to tell you, that is something that the film got right. The film is not at all a great adaptation of this book. It completely misses the mark. It is hilarious. It is a fun watch, and it focuses on, just Juanita enjoying life, and it gives her a little bit of romance. But it picked up on something that I picked up on the book. Now, it was cool for the film, but it wasn't cool for the book. Alfred Woodard was 65, 66 years old. Adam Beach was in his early to mid 40s. Juanita's only 41, and we could see the difference in the film. Now, when I saw the film, I thought it was an age gap film. I didn't know about the book, I didn't know what the story was. So it's great on its own, but once you know about the book and you read the book, you're not going to like the film as much as you would have if you see it first. So the fact that they were able to cast Alfred Woodard and no one questioned it tells me just how outdated Juanita's language was. She talked like she was a 60 to 70-year-old, like school mom or mammy from the South. Like this, it didn't make sense for her to sound this old, even with her having been a teen mom. It gave off, a cut and paste middle aged woman persona. And the last thing I took issue with was the romance. It came in far too late. We're talking about the final eighth of the novel. Eighth, which is, I think, about like 40 to 50 pages. Again, it's only 220 pages. Her relationship with Jess either needed to stay platonic, maintain itself as a friendship so that she could just continue on with her adventure. Instead, what we got was a last minute romance that got rushed. We have so many chapters about Millie, who is a delightfully colorful, just not right woman who I thoroughly enjoyed as a character. But if you're going to have a romance with Jess, you're going to have to remove Millie. The interaction with Peaches was top tier. You could have just left us with Peaches. So we have the road trip before she meets Peaches. We have the road trip with Peaches. You're going to have to shorten her journey to Montana. You're going to have to shorten her time with Peaches, remove Millie completely so that at the halfway point, we can show some sort of relationship development between her and Jess. It just happens overnight when this entire novel, they've been acting like great friends and great business partners. This book doesn't have a real conflict. If they had moved Jess's romance with her up a lot earlier, then we would have had a conflict because again, she's supposed to just be there temporarily. She's going to move on. But her having a romance with Jess a lot earlier would create that conflict. Should I stay or should I go? Overall, I gave this book 4.5 stars. This was an excellent first attempt by Sheila Williams. I haven't read anything else she's written if she has. Again, the only thing I needed was a conflict or no romance at all. I thoroughly enjoyed reading this, and I think that anyone, especially anyone in their 40s, is going to love this. Definitely need to add this to your collection. Have you read this book yet? Hop in the comments and let me know what you think.